the space is also said to be all-pervasive, but it is only relatively all-pervasive as it does not pervade the Atma, where the Atma pervades even space. So Atma has limitless or absolute all-pervasiveness. Anatma here is with reference to space alone because limitlessness in terms of time was pointed out by the word Nitya. So now the question that I have is, so Atma has limitless or absolute all-pervasiveness? Or is it both?
Either way.
Either way, okay.
You understand how space is all pervasive only in a certain context of a vyavahara.
Okay.
But space is not even present in deep sleep.
True.
So space doesn't pervade deep sleep.
Oh, okay.
Because Atma is very much there in deep sleep also. So Atma pervades waking, dream, deep sleep, past, present, future, everything. Whereas space doesn't pervade everything. So space is a good example for communicating pervasiveness. But it does not equal the pervasiveness of the Atma.
Atma is beyond.
Ha. So that which accommodates everything, including deep sleep and whatever.
Wow.
So space does not pervade Atma. Like the beggar does not pervade the yaksha. Mithya does not pervade Satyam. It's the same thing. Anatma does, space is Anatma.
Right. But then for me, let me make my understanding and correct me if I'm wrong. So space does not pervade in all state of Atmas, but it pervades in the wake state, in the dream state, but it does not pervade in the deep sleep, as you say. So there is a state in Atma where space is not pervaded.
Yeah, when Atma is present, space is present, Atma is present. Space is not present, Atma is present.
Right.
That's a deep sleep.
Right, that's a deep sleep. Yeah. Because it is a subset, that's how we engineers figure that one out, that okay, Atma is the full set in this, and then space is, you can think that okay, it covers the maximum subset, but there is still some left in the Atma where space is not pervaded, and that is, example is the deep sleep.
And simpler than that is, how do you know space is?
True.
That way you can say that the space is illumined by consciousness. Even existence of space is revealed only when you become aware of space. Existence of anything can be established only when you become aware of it. That space is also becomes known to you when you become aware of the space. Which means space is illumined by awareness or consciousness, Viditatmananda. Similarly, time and everything. Secondly, space is relative. Of course, the theory of relativity is already proven that space also is relative. It's not absolute. Space also curves. Space also subject to change and modification. Atma is absolutely changeless.
Right. Now,
meaning that when you think of all pervasiveness, you have to rise above the all pervasiveness of space.
Correct. More realistic question. So, in the given phase of the life, which is Vanaprastha, how can one attain and continue the journey in the given practical life? So now we have, the environment in US, in India, and then we also know that the purpose of the Vanaprastha. How can one maximize the journey or continue to attain the purpose in Vanaprastha?
You see, Vanaprastha primarily means that one is retired. No responsibility. That's called Vanaprastha.
Right.
Because typically, as the Vedas will describe, the father hands over all the responsibilities to the son. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Yajna, Tvam Lokaha. Meaning that from now on you are the Vedas, you are the Yajnas, you are the Lokas. So you recite the Vedas. You perform all the Yajnas to achieve this Svarga, etc. I've handed over all, so far I was doing, I'm handing over all this to you. To the extent that in case there was some deficiency in the father's performing all his duties, the son's performance also removes the deficiency. So father is free from all responsibilities. It's a state of mind that is called Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha, because freedom from all responsibility is an important thing. Because responsibility always engages our mind. Mind is always concerned about the responsibility. So Vanaprastha first means that one is free from all responsibility. Number two, that includes all family responsibilities and everything. So the mind is totally available now to do what you want to do. In olden days, they used to go to forest, etc., or sometimes wife would accompany the husband, sometimes husband would go alone. In the Vanaprastha also, there were quite, prescriptions of how he should spend his life.
Right.
And the life of Vanaprastha was primarily devoted to penance and prayers and meditations, etc. So today's Vanaprastha, when I say, can, if there is a leisure of the mind available, then you can make out a schedule for yourself, which would include some prayers. If you like to do puja, it's well and good, but prayers for sure. Some meditation, japa, etc. Instead, these days some community service,
True.
but that is not necessary. From our traditional definition of Vanaprastha, all community service is done by Grihastha. But since normally Grihastha is too busy with his own life, you can say Vanaprastha has now some time for community. So there is a group called Havan, which VHP has started.
Okay.
And what that Havan means is, V stands for Vanaprasthi. And so Hindu association, Vanaprasthi, something or the other. And their own spiritual progress as well as the community service. They are trying to encourage people. But that's not necessary. One feels the need for oneself. Okay. Or one cannot fill up all the time with prayers and study, then I'm making useful. One's time spent usefully.
I mean, I was more thinking, based on your line of thinking and suggestion, is how can we continue contributing to the society and the community? So is it still continues throughout Vanaprastha ashram?
It doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to. All that has been supposedly done during the Grihastha.
Okay.
Because the Grihastha was supposed to perform this fivefold yajna, which was of the nature of contribution, a contributor. Yajna is basically an act of contribution. So Pitru Yajna means contributing to Pitrus, a matter of belief. Guru Yajna contributing to other human beings in society. Bhuta Yajna contributing to other creatures. Deva Yajna contributing to Devatas. So that was the idea of contribution. But the idea is that this was built into life of a household. This was deep. Right now we don't have that method. And perhaps the work life demands so much that you may not have time to do any contribution. In which case, as a Vanaprastha, one may want to compensate for what one could not do in the life of a household. That's one's choice.